Well, hello. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? This is Els Company from Bemis Crafty Corner. And today, you know, I've been doing a lot of stuff lately, and I realized that I have swatches for everything. These are my inks. Well, not all of them, but some of them anyway. Most of them, I would say. Maybe two-thirds of my inks. And I have them all stamped. And then on the back, it tells me this is distressed oxidized fossilized amber. So I know exactly what that color looks like. And I do it for my inks. We do swatches for our markers. Gotta have that swatched. And I said to myself, because that's what I call myself when I talk to myself, why don't we have swatches for our embossing powders? Okay. A while back I did this project, and I tested out my embossing powders on this piece of paper, and I went, that's a brilliant idea. I should swatch my embossing powders, and I'll show you why. Because these are my embossing powders. Got a couple of different pads. I have some of these Emboss from Imagine ones. These aren't even open. I have these Distress embossing glazes. I don't know where I got them, but I got those. I have some that I don't even know where they came from. I have some that came, oh, well, there's another embossing pad down there. Who knows? I have some that I have gotten in bags. These are Stampin' Stuffs. And I have some that I have mixed myself. And I have some that came as part of a set. I've got a whole bunch of those. And I have some Recollection ones. What's this? This one is from Desert Tapestry. So I have all these different embossing powders, but do I really know what I have? I don't. If I was looking in here for something, I have to go through these. And then when I go through them, and I do eventually stamp something with them, I tend to find that they're not always the color of the powder itself, okay? So this is Rusty Hinge, and you can see how dark it is, right? Where's that little piece of paper that I just had? Here it is. All right. So that's what it looks like in the bottle. That's what it looks like when it embosses. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is about 5 shades lighter. So I thought, why not do a swatch for my embossing powders? So that's what we're going to do. So let me move this out of the way real quick. And let me show you what we're going to use. Piece of paper. I have a punch. And I thought, I have this one that does this mason jar. And I thought that's kind of cute for, embossing jars. Obviously, I'm going to need my embossing ink. A piece of paper. I'm going to need my stamp, and I'm going to use the same one that I used for the other video with the little dragonfly, because it's a good size. And then I'm going to need a pen to mark what everything is. And we're going to do this. So let me get this out of the way. I'm going to bring the embossing powders back over. We're going to get started with those, and I will be right back. Okay, so the first thing I've done is I went through my embossing powders and I separated them. Now, I haven't pulled these emboss ones yet because I haven't opened all of these. So I don't want to get into that. But I do have all of these. Now, the other tool that you may want here is going to be a permanent marker, so you can write on the lids of these if you need to. It just depends on, you know, how you decide you want to code these, you know. So I've got them all separated. Get this out of the way. I'm going to move this over. Okay. And I'm going to cut a few more of these little jars out. I had a few more embossing powders than I thought I had. Okay. So, once I've done that, the next part is going to be pulling my embossing powders. So, I've got a stack of those. We'll start with these. These are the Distress Embossing Glaze. Okay. So, let me get this one out of the way. We're going to bring in the rest of our embossing stuff. Okay. So, piece of paper that I can use to, you know, protect my work surface and gather up my embossing powder when I'm done. And then we're going to get started on these. Let me get cleaned up here a little bit. There's some residue on the paper and stuff, and I'll be right back. All right, so these are all open. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign one card to each one. Okay. And then we're going to stamp these one at a time. So before we stamp it, we're going to bring it over. We're going to get out our marker. And we're going to write. Distress. And this one is Speckled Egg. Okay. So I'm going to turn this over. Hit it with my little embossing thing there. Okay. There we go. Then I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle this powder on. Just like, you know, if I were embossing. And then I'm going to put the powder back in the jar. Tap it off. I'm going to put the lid on. Then I'm going to set this off to the side. I'm not going to sit here and do each one of these individually as far as, you know, setting them up to emboss them, because then I'm turning the gun on and off, on and off, on and off. And I don't want to do that. So we're going to take the next one. This is Broken China. Again, we're going to turn it over. Give it a little wipe. Open this up. Give it a little stamp. Pour on the color. Put it back in the jar. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing to all of these, and I'm going to keep them with the jar so that I know which one is which, and then I'm going to go ahead and come back and we'll emboss them all right? So I'll be right back. Alrighty, now I've done these all. And since I choose to not burn my fingers, I'm going to use a pair of tweezers, and I'm just going to hold them at the top, and we're going to go ahead and emboss these real quick. I'm going to do them all pretty quickly, and then we're going to move on to the next set, okay? So let me get these done, and then, you know, we'll move on. Okay, so these are all done. And as you can see, the colors can change quite dramatically between, you know, here's, this one's a big change. Let me take a look. Look at that, right? Look how different that is. So, now these are done, and they're dry, so I don't have to worry about them. So I'm going to go ahead and pick these up, and we're going to get out the next set. And the next set's going to be just a little bit different because they do not have a name brand on them. Okay? So let me get rid of these and get the next set out, and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is a set that I think came with, like, it may have come in a box set, or I may have gotten them, I think they did. I think they came in a boxed set with a heat tool that I bought for my granddaughter. And the heat tool, I don't know where it is. I think Amy has it and is using it. And the embossing powders are just in my embossing powders. So the only one that's marked in the whole set is the clear. That's it. That's the only one that's marked. So as far as the rest of these, I mean, I could say light green and dark green, and I could say that this is, you know, gold, and that's black, and this is, I don't know, dark blue maybe. I don't know. That's the thing. So what I'm going to do is, see, I put an A on this one, and I'm just going to put a letter on each one of these. B, C, D. I'm just going to letter these and then do the same process. Ooh, H and I could be the same, huh? Nah, I know the difference. So, M, N, O, and P. All right, so I'll do the same thing. And when I label my cards, we'll call these glass A, glass B, glass C, glass D, okay? So I'll do that to all of these, and then I'll emboss all of them. And then I'll do the same thing as I move through. Here's the next set. Let me get these out of the way. So this will be my next set. Get this moved over. There we go. So this is my next set, and these are Stampin' Stuffs. And I have 4 of those. So for these, I will probably say Stampin'. And then I'll just write down what the color is, baby blue. For that one. And this one is glow in the dark. This one is violet. And this little guy is Sahara Pearls. Okay, so now I do have another set that doesn't have any, you know, marking on it, and it's this plastic set, sprinkle tops. And so what I'll probably do with these is I did these in alphabets, I'll probably do these with numbers. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that way I can make sure that I differentiate. The recollections I'll do, you know, I'll say they're recollections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these finished, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do next, okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, so now once I have them all, you know, labeled as to what they are, I can take my hole punch, punch some holes, and get out one of my binder rings. Go ahead and put them on my binder ring. There we go. Put that away. Let me get these out of here. Here we go. We'll bring this back up. And these are all of my embossing powders. And now I have, you know, a look through so that I can know, you know, like this is a gold here. Do I want this gold or this one? Or maybe I want something that looks a little more antique, and maybe I want this one, you know, which one of those do I want? So I can make that decision, and I know what it's going to look like when I stamp it. Obviously, if I stamp it on something other than white paper, I would still want to test stamp. But as far as like getting started selecting a color, there we go. And I can put that in my embossing box and put my little catch paper in there, close that up, and now my embossing box is organized, you know, like everything else, well organized. All right, that's it. That's all I have for you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure that you instant message me, email me, put it in the description below, you know, in the comments section, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. And, you know, if you want to know what's going on, check out the community tab here or on my Facebook. And there's links to everything in the description below. Until I see you again, stay well, my friends. Bye-bye.